Okay. So, I thought it would take about 5 days to get anywhere near 100 likes. It got there in 5 hours. So yes, I'm doing a part 2 to index errors. I have gone deep. I've now gone so deep into these index cards that I'm starting to wonder if it was all intentional. That if you put the errors on the wording and the numbers in the correct order, there is a secret date, time, and location where you can go to get a mystery box that will be a brand new faction, or perhaps it's a 40k Fulgrim model, or maybe Games Workshop just doesn't have enough proofreaders to cover this amount of data cards. Probably that one. There has been a document released by Games Workshop last week, so that if you bought a set of the physical cards, you can correct the unique errors that appear on them. Totally separate to all the digital errors that I've mentioned in the previous video and the ones I'm talking about in this video. And when we're talking about things that are unique, weapons are not one of them. With each unit getting its own card and variations of its own weapons, the same gun can be different for different units. The Vanguard Veterans Grav Pistol is damage 1, but the Assault Marines, the non-First Company unit, their Grav Pistols are damage 2. The Dark Reapers of the Eldar have damage 1 or damage 2 depending on which one of the two options you pick for when you're firing the weapon, but the Autarch has damage 2 regardless. The Battle Sister Inferno pistols are down to damage D3, as are most Eldar fusion pistol weapons for the Eldari and Harlequins, but Corsairs still get D6 damage from their fusion pistols. They seem to be the only ones across any of the factions, so I don't know who they stole that from. It's not all good for Eldar though. Storm Guardians completely lose their melee weapons and can't fight in melee at all if they have a flamer or a fusion gun. Unlike the Reaper Cannon Autarch, the Autarch on Jetbike does badly. You take out their laser lance for a fusion gun and they also lose the ability to fight in melee. Dire Avengers only have a Shuriken Catapult. They don't get equipped with a close combat weapon listed on their profile. Now, we could assume that they are, but there are equal rules to say here that each model is equipped with a close combat weapon, as there are rules to say that every single model is equipped with a dire sword. Who's to say what is real and what is OP when it comes to 10th edition Index Eldar? If you give the Cadian Castellan a bolt gun, he also loses the ability to punch things. That is what you get for leaving home without a command squad, like a real guard officer. Or if we are acting like a real guard officer, you just shouldn't have left home. Stay in the bunker several miles behind the front. Among all these units that can't punch, here is a unit that can punch, but at range. The Demon Prince of Chaos shoots using weapon skill. But for the Orcs, the Gretchin went from toughness 3 in 9th edition, thus making them equal in toughness to a Battle Sister, but still they were overcosted. It's up to you to decide if I mean the Battle Sisters, the Gretchin, or both. Well, from toughness 3, the Gretchin are now toughness 2. Except when they are toughness 5 in close combat. The rules commentary on page 15 says, use the highest toughness characteristics among all the unit's models, referring to units with mixed toughness but without the leader keyword. So yes, they're toughness 2 when they get shot, but they go to toughness 5 in combat as long as the herder is alive. Interesting. If you want to see changing toughnesses, nothing is tougher than a German Tyrannid. Ich bin verloren. Bei meinem Tyranniden Carnifex und meinem geflügelten Alpha sind die Sachigkeits und Eigenschaften umgekehrt. Stimmt das Englische oder das Deutsche? Ich bin so verwirrt. Okay. The Death Corps of Krieg have a Medipack, but not listed as something a model can take, but it is an ability that may have been carried over from what previously their rules may have been. There's a link to some possible guard rumours, so it may be a possible holdover from that. Also, the Medipack is just not listed on the new app, and they'll need a medical pack when they get wounded by Dark Eldar splinter weapons. All of the Dark Eldar poison splinter weapons are anti-infantry 3+, except for Witchers. Those particular poison masters and drug takers have anti-infantry 4+. Unlike all of the splinter weapons. Also, their unit leader, the Hecatrix, cannot have a better weapon, but the sprue does have a whip and a power sword. None of the model bits like the fancy spike gauntlets or the swords that turn into whips that turn back into swords, they don't do anything. These are not available for arbitrary reasons, despite with everything else, Games Workshop saying, yeah, what's in the box you get on the models, including special bits. Oh well. While looking at things that are similar but not, the Mortifiers can swap 1 or 2 heavy bolters for flamers. Each one is twin-linked. The Penitent engine has 2 flamers and so gets 1 profile with twin-linked. The models use the same kit, so the Mortifier isn't getting 4 heavy flamers on there. But if we want to talk about fire and things that are basically Battle Sisters but manly, Battle Sisters are manly. I can play Battle Sisters and still be manly. Shh. Very manly. Black Templars though, in their Righteous Crusaders detachment, they are limited as to what type of Gladiator and Valiance and such they can take. The Gladius task force that is compatible with them doesn't have that restriction. You can take 3 Space Marine Gladiuses and 3 Black Templar Gladiuses. You probably wouldn't want to, but you absolutely could. And this is a confusion that goes through the Black Templars index. They're Castellan, which is a lieutenant, but in Primaris Tacticus armor, even though it is clearly this 3rd edition artwork, pre-Primaris, with a variant of the Mark IV chest armor and a variant of the Mark VII helmet, well, with that level of confusion, of course he doesn't know where he's going to go. He can join a unit that already has a captain or chapter master, but he can't join a Black Templar unit that already has a marshal or high marshal. Does he even know which chapter he's from? He also can't join tactical marines like he has in his picture, but I don't think that's going to be corrected. For the number of Primaris lieutenants we have, if you don't count their character models, there are twice as many Primaris lieutenants as there are Genestealer Occult units. Let us just have a firstborn lieutenant, like the data card. That is just a marine from the Quran box set with a paint job. Don't just give me that. Over on the Genestealer Occult, the Jackal Alphas saves 1 in 6 times. I do not mean they have a 6+ save. No. They only save on a 5, not on a 5+. Don't know how you modify that. I'm not expecting any of these to get fixed soon, even though there's meant to be some kind of patch coming out this week. I have done error correction and compiling before. It takes weeks and weeks to gather them, and for Warhammer staff to do things like watch all of my videos and then figure out what changes to make. I doubt anything will happen properly for the next couple of months. There, so is that the end? No, there are still more. But surely you're not interested in seeing any more of these. Surely. So let's make it absurd. I want 100 comments, 200 likes, and whatever my subscriber count is, it's down there, double that in views. Then I will look at the tiniest, smallest, most insignificant errors on data cards that I can find and make a 3rd one of these. Or if you really want to request it, become a loyal legionary or join the inner circle on my Ko-Fi page linked in the description. Those 2 tiers get to request videos. You have 1 week. Just 1. And I'm sure my next video will be something light-hearted and not me complaining about some rule interpretation or other.